Hi everybody, my name is Carmen. I'm known on air as DJ Zenyatta, and I was the host of Panic on the Streets of London. And today, this is what's in my bin. Why I picked my DJ name. So the two things I love most are music, obviously, and horse racing. And so I found a way actually to combine them two because one of my favorite racehorses, her name was Zenyatta. She was a champion female racehorse, and she was named after the Police album, Zenyatta Mandata. And so I just thought it all came together like a little circle, the way to tie it into the British music that I love so much and the horse racing I love so much. And so that's the story behind my name, and now I think we'll dive into what's in my bin. Okay. So this first record I picked out, I decided to pick this out kind of as a nod to my show name, Panic on the Streets of London. I picked one of my favorite bands from the British 80s music scene, even though this album came out in 1990, but I'll get to that in a minute. So this album I picked here is Stray by one of my favorite bands, Aztec. Started off in the early 80s as like a jingle pop band, so for those of you maybe not familiar with the term, that's basically like the main focus of the music was they had like very bright like springy guitars, and so that's kind of what enticed me to their music. And I do really enjoy their lyrics. I think they're really like sincere, like really youthful lyrics I can sometimes relate to, and I just really enjoy them. It's funny because like their best work was in the 80s, I think. They had 3 albums in the 80s. But I decided to pull this one from the 90s. I wanted to highlight one of my favorite Aztec songs on this one, Good Morning Britain. That one, it features his name, Nick Jones from the Clash. It's funny seeing Aztec kind of go from a little cute little jingle pop band to doing guitar duets with a member of the Clash. This next record that I picked out is another one of my favorite bands from the UK, from the 80s, none other than Simple Minds. And so I got a little funny story. I've seen a couple of, I'm trying to, while I can, catch up on these 80s bands, because obviously I wasn't around back then, and too many of them are around anymore. And so I'll tell like my parents, I'll tell like my friends, like the two 80s bands that I'm most desperate to see that I haven't seen yet are Pet Shop Boys and Simple Minds. But the trouble is, they're based in the UK, and they don't like coming to the US that often, at least not often enough for my liking. It's very hard to like actually see them. And so I was over the moon when I found out that these guys, Simple Minds, they actually they went on tour here in the US just a couple weeks ago. My dream came true. I was able to see Simple Minds live. And I think they're just they're a really great band to get into. Under a different band name, they actually started off really briefly as a punk band, and it's really cool. I love their really early work, so like the very early 80s. It's funny, they went from punk to post-punk, and then they went to like art rock, and they went all experimental with their sound. They got some really interesting electronic sounds in their early albums. And then we arrived at this album, New Gold Dream, 81, 82, 83, 84. And not to say that their other albums aren't great, but this is like peak Simple Minds to me. For me, this is like the perfect fusion of like, okay, they got their new wave stuff, so songs like Glittering Prize and Promise to Miracle, the keyboards and synths like really shine on those tracks. But you also get to see a bit of a hint of the arena rock band they would become. So like, we know later years they became famous for Alive and Kicking, Breakfast Clubs, Don't You Forget About Me. And so you get a taste of that too, with Someone, Somewhere, Summertime, another one of my favorite songs of theirs. And then I also like to highlight the title track, New Gold Dream, 81, 82, 83, 84, another just excellent track. And so this is a great band that I recommend checking out. This is my opinion, but in my opinion, these guys were a lot better than U2. Not to say that U2 are bad, U2 deserve all the success, and they're awesome too. These guys are better. And the world goes on. I found this, I think around like last September, so September 2024, and it was the beginning of the school year, and so I was like, okay, let's try to knock out some volunteer hours before I get slammed with all this coursework. And so I was alphabetizing my favorite section, the rock vinyl section, and I came across this band. I've never heard of them before. It's called, I think it's Abecedarians. I think that's how I say it. And so I took a little note of it on my phone, and then when I went home, I went to check out their song. And oh my gosh, this song blew me away. It's called Smiling Monarchs, and it's just great, like synth 80s fun. And fun fact, it was produced by Bernard Sumner of New Order. One CD in my bin today. First things first, this is Soda Stereo. This is their album Sueño Stereo. I think it was released like back in 1995, I want to say. So last year, basically what happened was I was like chatting with a friend who I like to chat music with, and just somehow in the conversation I was like, hey, you want to check out like my Spanish music playlist? And at the time it wasn't like very impressive of a playlist. Like there was maybe like 50 songs on there, I think around there, which sounds like a lot, but compared to how big it is now, it wasn't a lot. And so I showed them one of Soda Stereo's songs from the 80s, In La Ciudad de la Furia. And that song is funny because this friend of mine, they don't even speak Spanish or anything. That song just like really like grabbed their attention. They're like, oh my gosh, Carmen, this song's like brilliant. It was funny because like I didn't think too much of it. And then like a couple weeks later, like because we share Spotify, you can see what we're listening to. I see this friend, I'm like, gosh, they're only listening to Soda Stereo, like what? And so it's funny because I only knew that one song at the time. And so I'm like, okay, I'm definitely missing out on something if they're still listening to it. And so that inspired me to check out more Soda Stereo's music, and I too was blown away. Since last summer, basically, Soda Stereo, I think they're like one of my top 3 bands, like right up there with the Smiths and Simple Minds. And so I wish we had more Soda Stereo in the stacks, but I'm glad we have this one at least. Next record I picked out, another one of my sentimental favorite bands, yet another British synth-pop band I brought out today. This is Naked Eyes. This is their second album, Fuel for the Fire, and so I'm glad we at least have this one. I'm a little bummed out we don't have the first album in the stacks, because that, I think it is a little bit of the better album. You know, it has the big hits, Always Something There to Remind Me, Promises, Promises, but I think that's like definitely like top class 80s synth pop, new wave, so that one's definitely worth checking out if you like. But I'm still a big fan of this second album here. Some highlights for me include Eyes of a Child, my favorite, No Flowers Please. And this is just another special band to me because I've met cool people like all over the place who love this band. I've encountered some cool people even here at the station who told me that they love this band too, and so that made me happy because for a long time I felt like I was the only one who liked this band. I know that's not true, but it's nice to run into a couple other new wave heads every now and then because of this band. Flowers, please. No, no, no. Flowers, please. No, don't forget. It wouldn't be What's in My Bin video without the Smiths. So they're the reason, if you're curious, how I picked the name Panic on the Streets of London. The Smiths, they have a song called Panic, and lyrically it's really perfect. It's all about DJs and London, you know, British music, and that's my sweet spot, the British music of the 80s. And so I thought Panic might have been a little bit too obvious of a pick, so I wanted to dig a little deeper. And so I brought out this 12-inch single we have, this charming band. That's one, obviously, I know that's one of their bigger hits. But also I'd like to highlight the B-side, one of the B-sides. It's also one of my favorite Smiths songs, Wonderful Woman. And so yeah, the Smiths, definitely my number one favorite band. On my show, I had a thing where every episode there was always some song related to the Smiths. And it's funny because here at KDVS, like, we want to keep variety on the air, so I'm only allowed to play the same artist twice. And so I found lots of workarounds for this one. I'm like, okay, we'll play a Morrissey track about the lead singer, or I'll be like, okay, we'll find a cover version. So every episode of Panic on the Streets of London has something Smiths related. This is one of my favorites.